I don't know if this is true or not, but I feel like Ronald McDonald as a character is bigger in America than he is in the UK, which would make sense, of course, given, McDonald's origin. But I never remember him being this massive character as a child. There was occasionally like a picture of him in a McDonald's, or the toys would be centered around him and Hamburglar and things. But certainly I'd never heard of The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald. This is a series of, a mini-series of, I guess, either extended episodes or short films, each one about 40 minutes in length, centered around Ronald McDonald and the characters associated with that world. And the only reason I wanted to watch this is because I was looking for some children's films from the early noughties, because I enjoy watching them either for nostalgia or to, just to relax. I like them as background noise because they're always really kind of easy to watch. And I came across this and I saw the animation style and I kind of thought, I'm going to have to watch that because that looks very disturbing. And I have to say it is pretty creepy. But I can also kind of see how it would give children, a chance to see what Ronald McDonald is like with his personality. So when you do go into McDonald's and you meet Ronald, or he has his picture there, or the seats are shaped like those Hamburglars or whatever, it gives him a little bit more personality. So I'm not going to spoil the narrative just in case you are interested in watching it, but I'll talk a little bit about what it's about and then say whether or not I thought it was as terrifying as it looks. So this is specifically the episode or short film Birthday World, and I chose this one because it sounded the most fun. And the description from IMDb basically says, it's Ronald's birthday and Hamburglar, upset that he didn't get Ronald a present, invites everyone to a fake amusement park known as Birthday World to celebrate. But it's run by this evil scientist named Professor Thaddeus J. Pinchworm. And basically they go to this theme park. This is animated. This is the animated section. There is an introduction, which I'll talk about in a moment. But for the most part, the film is animated. And they go off to this theme park as Hamburglar and Sundae, which is a gorgeous dog, a name for a dog. Absolutely love it. And then you have the McNuggets, which I'll be honest, look nothing like McNuggets. But we have all of these characters that are from this world, and they go to this theme park, but things start to go wrong because this evil mad scientist, Pinchworm, is causing absolute chaos. It's worth noticing that he actually gave these tickets to Hamburglar as a ruse to get him there. And yeah, I think it's very much one of those things where children are going to be shouting at the screen saying, don't trust him, don't go, I can see he's evil, and sitting on the edge of their seat knowing that Professor Pinchworm is about to do something terrible. Pretty standard format for an animation film or short film. And I think it works really well. The narrative unfolds nicely. It starts off all jolly with Ronald McDonald having a surprise party that he knows about, and they're going to a theme park, an amusement park. That's really quite exciting. I've said this before, but I love films centered around amusement parks, preferably live action, but animation's good too. But then things very quickly start going downhill when they get there and they realise that this may not be the thrill ride they're expecting. I like it. By which I mean it wasn't as creepy as I thought. It was more well developed than I thought. It had a stronger message than I thought. And I never knew the McNuggets were characters. That's not something I'd ever come across before. I'll be honest, I find them slightly creepy. I also do find the animation style of Ronald McDonald to be really eerie. Like, the style of Hamburglar is pretty safe. And the other characters, apart from the McNuggets, none of them really look that creepy. But Ronald McDonald, the animation style, is just not something you'd want to have as a poster on your wall. It's very eerie. Whereas in the introduction, we have a live action introduction that lasts, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes. And David Hussey plays Ronald McDonald, this little live action version who is, he's getting ready and he's wearing the costume and his hair's all big, and at one point he's hanging upside down and he's trying to find his shoes and he's dancing in front of a magic mirror or a funhouse mirror. And to me, he very much looks like what Ronald McDonald looks like. So if a child met him in a McDonald's, they would be met with a figure they recognise. He looks as what I picture when I picture Ronald McDonald, which thankfully I don't do that often. And that's less creepy than I expected. I thought that would be creepy, and the animation would be slightly creepier. But actually it's the other way on in terms of that character. But I can't see this being fun. I can't imagine nowadays they'd do an animated TV series based on a fast food chain. I mean, maybe there is one, and I can't think of it. But this is basically a 40-minute animated advert for McDonald's. Nowadays, not really something they'd get away with, I don't think. But, it served a purpose. It seems like it could have been quite entertaining if I was younger. It's got 6 out of 10 on IMDb, although that is across 79 reviews. But it seems like it had a purpose. It delivered its message well. It's worth noticing that it's produced by Klasky Ksupo, who do so many amazing 90s and noughties animations, but particularly Rugrats, one of my favourites. And the animation style is definitely something you'd recognise from that. Honestly, it's quite good fun. It's not something I'd watch again, and I'm not inclined to watch the other short films. But if you want to just check it out to see what it's all about, I definitely recommend it. It's creepy, but not unwatchable. It's not necessarily what I expected. Again, I don't know if it ever came to the UK. Maybe it did, I'm not sure, but I certainly didn't see it at the time. But, it's interesting enough, and well worth checking out if you find it kind of creepy and you look at the animation style and just think, what is that? Give it a go, you'll soon find out.